The purpose of the Global CFO Council is to provide an educational and networking forum for senior financial executives in order to share best practices, discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their jobs.
Camille, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I am great, Robert. Thanks for taking this time out to talk to me.
Absolutely. I am super excited to get to talk to you and really looking forward to this conversation. I think Camille Stewart-Edwards, you're the VP of Finance at Atlas Van Lines in Canada, based out of, I think, the Metro Ontario area, and not only a CPA, but also a chartered accountant. Is that correct?
That's correct. And to be specific, CA from the UK. So I do use my CPA here. So it's, Canada has the Certified Professional Accountant certification, which is slightly different from the US. We're both the same letters, but they kind of mean something different. But yes, the CPA in Canada.
That's really fascinating. What is the difference between a Canadian CPA and an American CPA?
So good question. There's some history behind the CPA because the CPA here is pretty much an amalgamation of about 3 different accounting designations that were in Canada. So before the CPA, we had the CMA, Certified Management Accountant. You had the CGA, which I was, Certified General Accountant, and then you had the CA, which were Chartered Accountants. So some years ago, the Accounting Association here decided there are 3 different ones. Let's consolidate and make it one. So people like myself who were CGAs, we were grandfathered into the CPA. So, everybody now has that CPA designation. So the older or the grandfathered designators would now have to use their original designation, which is CGA. So we have to go CGA CPA. The whole structure of the exams and the experience changes with the newer students. And so they would be just CPAs. And then we're more CPA, CGA, CPA, CMA, CPA, CA. So you will sort of see that kind of lettering with a lot of the Canadian accountants, whereas with the US, it's always been one. You're just all, I think, certified public accountant. So that's kind of the whole history behind it. But now we're considered simply one body of accountants. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Super fascinating. Had no idea. I've always just nodded my head when somebody said you were a CPA in Canada. Cool. Mm-hmm. Now I know the difference. That's super cool. Well, let's get into our questions and start with question number 1. What is your favorite business book and why?
So I'm going to say I do not read a lot of business books. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not a business book person. I do have a lot of them handy. I start them and I don't finish because I'm just not an avid reader. But if I were to take the word business out of it and say, what is my favorite book? I would say Becoming by Michelle Obama. And why that has been my favorite, and I'll be honest with you, Robert, I have savored that book. So I'm taking about 2 years to read it because I just don't want to finish it. But it just speaks to the authenticity of a Black woman in America and pretty much someone I can relate to. Did I have the same path? No, but I can identify with her struggles, her wins, her victories. Did I make it to the White House? No, I wish I could, but the similar experiences that she had of being just Black in America and how she overcame them and just her advice really resonated with me. So I would say that's my favorite book and still reading it.
It is hard to finish a great book. I totally agree with you and can feel the same feelings. Great transition, though, into question number 2. Speaking of advice, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
Very good. I would say I got this from my mentor about a couple of years ago, right here in Atlas, Canada. He was the president at the time, Barry Schellenberg. And I remember Barry and I when he came into the organization, I had maybe 5 years on him being there. And so we wanted to be able to work together. And so we set up one-to-one meetings. And I'll never forget, Barry said to me, Camille, you need to be vulnerable as a leader, because I was a leader. And you said, it's fine that you do your job well, yeah, you will connect with people, but you also need to be an influencer, but more importantly, you need to show some vulnerability. That really hit me because it says to me that people need to see that you are normal, that there's certain things that affect you normally. You need to open up, because I grew up very closed. I grew up, you don't share everything. It's almost like nobody needs to know your business. Everybody will do their thing, you do yours. But when you're in an environment where there's so many people that you need to influence, that you need to lead, to show, to guide, all that good stuff, they need to be able to connect with you also, and to see that, yeah, there's a side of her that we can relate. She's normal. She's human. She can make mistakes and own them. So that was my best advice, to be vulnerable. And I'm still working on it. I'm not super vulnerable, but I still do try to open up a little more.
And maybe that's the key, that we're all a work in progress. And
Yes.
that's a good reminder. Vulnerable is a great foundation. Maybe the cornerstone of being a work in progress is to realize Robert Bendetti doesn't have it all together.
Yes.
And I could work on being vulnerable myself. So that's great advice. I'm glad I heard it today. What about tool? What is your favorite tool or habit that you've recently picked up that you have found beneficial?
That is excellent. And the favorite tool, I would say my favorite habit, is to reinforce a word that I have taken on this year. And that word is to be intentional. To be intentional about a lot of things I do in life, to be intentional about taking care of myself, looking out for me. I am important. There are a lot of people around you that are important, but you also need to take some time for you. There's too many stresses in this world that is throwing us off course, that you got to be intentional about you. I also have to be intentional about certain decisions and certain actions that I need to take. I won't say them out here, but there's certain personal decisions that I need to act on. And I've not been very good at executing. So this year, I will be executing. And the word intentional, I wake up with it every day. And I will ask myself the question, how far are you on your intentional scale? Did you accomplish step 1 or step 2? So that's the modus operandi for me this year, to be intentional about my goals, my objectives, about me, and yeah, my family. My family is very important to me. Also be intentional to let them know you love and you care for them as much as you're caring for yourself.
Camille, what about the best part of your current job?
All right. My current job is I'm, yes, VP Finance. I do have an excellent team working with me. So I do cover the boring stuff as accountants, the reporting, the audit, we're writing year end. But the most exciting part for my job now is creating efficiencies. And in our environment right now, our efficiencies are not only with the people, but with the systems. So we're going through a massive system transition. And this has taken quite a long time. We're on this for a couple of years now, but we're very close to the finish line. So that is exciting. So, there's a deadline. Yes, there's a deadline coming. We do serve a lot of agents. They're kind of impatient with us now. They're like, we need to get this done now. And so we have a new president, and he is very much charged. I'm right there with him. And so the best part of my job right now is to be working with the team to get the system fully completed, the transition done. We're aiming for this year end. We're going to get it done. So whatever it takes, sleepless nights, long hours, mapping, editing, reviewing, whatever it takes, we're getting it done. So there is that motivation, because I know at the end of it, my team and a lot of the other team members will be way better off when we're on the system. Efficiency is the name of the game. So
Amen.
that's the best part.
What about something personal that you wouldn't mind sharing about yourself with the rest of the CFO Council members?
All right. I like to share with everyone that I'm a Jamaican. I'm a Jamaican girl. But being Jamaican doesn't mean everyone that I know about ganja or weed. I don't. I've never seen the thing. I've never had it. It also doesn't mean I love reggae. I don't really. But being Jamaican means that I am very rootsy. I'm very down to earth, that I love the sun and the beach. And I also want to tell you that Jamaicans, we are such warm people. It doesn't mean that everything, even though we say no problem, yeah, we do have problems, but it's just a way to say, listen, we will work it out. We can get through this together. Yeah, we're just really cool people. So that's what I want everyone to know. I'm just a cool girl from the island.
That is awesome. I've been to Jamaica one time and I loved it. It's such a beautiful place, a wonderful place. I remember walking up a waterfall.
Yeah,
And
Dunn's River.
The people and the culture and the food was just amazing. And
Yeah.
I laughed when you said that about Jamaica. And I find it funny when people find out I'm from the South, they think my family makes moonshine or something, or that I'm Italian. They think my grandpa was in the mob. I'm just like, the crazy assumptions people have. It's hilarious.
Yes.
The places people's minds go to.
Yes. Yes. And Robert, I get it all the time. So that's why I put it out there first. Because every time you say someone, I'm Jamaican, then the next two questions: do you love reggae? Do you know Bob Marley? Do you smoke weed? I'm like, no, none of the above. Let's go to what a real Jamaican is. So I'm glad you shared that it happened to you too.
Question number 6, last question. It happened so fast. What is something that I should have asked you, but I didn't? And what is your answer to that?
All right. I noticed you didn't ask me anything about my family. And I'm a big family person. So just so everyone knows, I am a wife of the same husband for 31 years. So we are celebrating 31 years in March. And I'm excited. And this morning I actually said to my husband, what are we going to do? And he's like, I know what we're going to do. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, whatever you're going to do. I'm like, okay. So I got to do
Smart
it.
man. Smart man.
Like,
that's how
whatever
you've
you're
made
gonna
it
do.
31 years. He's a really smart man.
I won't tell him that. But I am also the proud mother of 3 beautiful children. And like I said to you, they are at different stages. My eldest daughter is a dietitian. She lives in New Jersey. She's contributing to the healthcare there. I'm so proud of her. My son is an aspiring actor, so you may be seeing him on the screens. I will let you know when he's out there, but he is just the pride and joy of us. He's our only son. And my youngest daughter, she's actually preparing to go out in the battlefield of nursing. And so she's studying here at Ottawa U. So proud of her too. She's just started university. And my husband, of course, we're in the same field. But I wanted to, just share that there's that side of me that holds me together, that gives me purpose. That as much as I give a lot to my job and the time and everything, there's so much there. We do take time out together as a family. We come together, we have our family meetings. We try to meet at least twice per year. We're all over the place. One's Jersey, one's Ottawa, I'm here. We always try together for one family vacation every year. The parents still pay for it. We may always do that for a while, but so that is something that is very dear to me, and I'd like to share that.
That is so fantastic. And I think it's a great idea to have those continued family meetings and family trips as the kids get older. My kids are teenagers, and my wife and I were just talking about that. Maybe we keep up that family tradition of an annual family trip or family get together, even if we have to pay for it. And in the future, their families, it's still worth it to have that together time. So I like the affirmation. This is good timing to get to speak with you. And I noticed a pattern, Camille. I see efficiency and a heart for continuous improvement, and that you have a growth mindset, and all of your answers focused on improving and growth. And I loved getting to talk to you and learn a little bit more about you.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. And I'm so happy for the opportunity to share. And I look forward to learning more about this group and, just being a part. It's going to be exciting. You're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and better.
Well, thank you very much for doing this, and I hope you have an awesome day.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.